Welcome to another episode of J Ride Customs. Welcome to the channel.
All right, so the first step, this little job, is I'm going to change the transmission seal. I already popped it out, got myself a new one. Just going to tap it in. Just tap it in. I got it from a new store in Winnipeg called Fat Guys. And yes, I did get my free hot dog. I just tap it in, go around. $5. There. That is in there. Just like that. Easy peasy. I had to change the tail cone. I actually damaged the bottom of it putting the motor in, so Brent over at Half-Ass, he had this kicking around on his bench just before his building burnt, so he actually just said, "Here, take this." All right, I'll take it. So yeah, there we go. We have that in. Easy peasy. Now I'm going to get the drive shaft. I'm going to slide it in and then pull it back an inch, and then that will be my location from there. This is a drive shaft off of a 1971 Monte Carlo. So it fits, well, geez, the transmission, it came from, I think, a 71 Monte as well. So winner, winner. That's in there, and I'm going to pull it back an inch so we can get some play. There we go. She's in there an inch. Now let's go to the back. There's the yoke there. Yeah, because that's an S10 diff in there. Right. Let's see where we got to cut it. I go to this point here. I go from this cup to the center of this cup. And that'll tell me how much I need to cut off. And it is 2 inches. I got to take 2 inches out of this shaft. This was the closest one that I could find to the length of this truck, so I'm not wasting my long ones. So I got to cut her 2 inches. All right, let's get cutting. So here we go. We got her on the table. So now I'm going to put a mark on here. Nice square mark so I can put it back. In the same location, less 2 inches. There we go. So I'll just cut this 2 inches and put the plug in. Because that's all this is. This is just a weld-in plug. So I'm going to go from this weld here back 2 inches. And bam, that's where she's going to be. So I'm going to stick her in my metal cutting saw, knock that off, and then I'm going to use either my plasma cutter to cut this off or my high-speed cutter. If I had a mill or a lathe, that would do it too. That's what they use in those shops, but I don't have that here. So that's what I'll use to cut that off. All right, let's take her over to the saw. All right, put her in, flick the switch. You have to get this straight as possible. I actually hold it. I let it cut. This pipe is pretty thin, so it doesn't take very long. The saw is old, but it still works. Definitely seen better days. That's for sure. Once I get through the top shell, it'll just buzz right through. And so I have a new universal joint to go on here as well. It's called a combination. It'll fit the yoke, but it'll fit the S10 diff, which is a little bit bigger. So it's called a combination. Those suckers are expensive. I was lucky enough to have one kicking around in my spare parts. I started doing my own drive shafts when the price of them went up. To get a drive shaft done now here in Winnipeg is like $600. So yeah, it's not cheap to do cars anymore if you're paying everybody to do everything. I just hoard all drive shafts now. Whenever I get a scrap car in, I have a pile of them up against the wall over there. And have you noticed that there's starting to get less and less parts cars around? I haven't bought a car in a year now. Just because of the price of them went up and there's not as many around anymore. I used to buy a whole field of cars, but they're just not around anymore. The price of scrap shot up there a few years before COVID, and everyone scrapped everything. All right, there you have it. Got cardboard in this one. Cardboard. Sometimes they're full of foam. This one's got cardboard in it. I don't know what it does, but if you do know, put it in the comments. I'm curious. All right, there we go. All right, there you have the plug inside. See it? So now I gotta dig it to the plug inside and just tap it in and then give it a nice weld. Change that out. I'll change that out after I put the plug in. Then, all right, let's get her done. All right, that didn't take too long. I didn't even burn through a whole disc. And there's my 2 inches. And here's my plug. See, there's my line right there. And there's my other line right there. And you line it up. And just tap it in. Just tap it in. There you go. Perfect. Now I'm going to clean that up some more with my little grinder. And then I'm going to weld it. And as you can see, I've got a little bit red-green going on, so I'm going to use those two to help me weld this thing so I can get a continuous weld. Stay tuned. I'm just going to give this a little clean here on the edge. Pretty nice. Just like that. I know the driveshaft guys are going to give me a little bit of grief about balancing and stuff like that. But to be honest, I've been doing this for like years, and I have never had one that had to take in and get rebalanced, or I haven't had one that the welds broke. So, knock on wood. So yeah, for those guys that leave negative comments, well, too bad. Let's clean her up and start welding. So here you have it, folks. This is my red-green rotisserie. Are you catching? Are you catching what I'm up to? I just used an old die that I had kicking around, like I have extras. So I just welded to the universal joint. And then my transmission jack and a magnet just to keep it straight. And then I can adjust my speed up or down. I like it as slow as possible. Then I can do a nice big weld. And yeah, bam. That is my rotisserie. You're going to watch me weld it. And there's my flap, my ground flap. So the wire doesn't get wrapped around it. And yeah, that's my red-green drive shaft welding rotisserie. Now you're going to watch me weld this up. All right, let's weld it. Here we go. Sure my rotisserie's working. Slow. Slow and steady wins the race. There you have it, boys and girls. Nice, clean weld. Look at that. Just smoking. A nice, clean weld. They'll never break. Ever. I've never had one break on me. So that's it. It's better than having a drunk buddy spinning it for you on a ladder or somebody else. At least I'm in full control with that foot pedal right there. So yeah, so that's done. Now I'm going to knock it loose from my rotisserie, knock that off, the universal joint, and change it. And I'm going to put that combination one in. Let's get rolling. Time to replace this universal joint on the back with that Spicer one I have. It's a combination one. I use a ball joint press. That's my tool of choice. Had it for years. This U-joint has been changed already once. It's got the clips in it. A lot of those old ones they had, Chevy, they had like plastic on the inside and you had to heat it up and it comes out like a sausage. But this has got the clips, so she's been replaced. I was lucky enough I found the universal joint kicking around, the Spicer one. But it was out of the box, so. But it should be the one I need. Here's hoping, here's hoping. I already tried it in the rear end housing and it fits slick in there, so. It came out of a Chevy driveshaft, so pretty certain it will fit this one. All right. And I use an impact. Here we go. Swing over here. This is such a handy tool. I even use it for putting pistons on rods and everything. Let me get my different pliers. I made myself a special tool for putting the rods and the pistons. It works pretty good. Here we go. Ooh. Ew. Oh, don't even have to push it back through the other side. Winner, winner. Caps are the same size. Perfect. 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 Yep. Same. Perfect. Well, that's scrap. Throw that in my pile. All right. I'll face the grease nipple out. There. Little tappy tap. I just like to get it past where the bearings will fall out when I pull it this way. Sucks nothing more than having to take it apart because of those bearings toppled over. Here, I almost put it in. Oh, oops. Still in there. There we go. Yeah, still in there. Good. Now I will use my tool again. Perfect. Perfect. Okay, I'm going to reuse my old clips because I don't have any new ones. They disappeared in action. So that's one of the ones. Oops. I guess needle nose would have been handier than these big clugs. I want to get those. Settle needle nose. There we are. Pop. Pop. Okay. Now I use my tool again. Push this one in. Oh, drop my cap again. I don't want to lose a bearing yet. There. Put my clip in, and I'm golden. Bam. Look at that. All right, let's go see if she fits on the truck. All right. The moment of truth to see if our drive shaft fits and everything worked out well. All right, let's do this. Hopefully the transmission's in neutral. Okay. All right, let's give it a spin. Put her in. And I'm going to put the caps on. Oh, maybe not. Let's go have a look at the front. There, you see, I still got my inch of travel. Perfect. I know she's ugly. The drive shaft's ugly and rusty, but she's just probably going to bounce off of curbs and run over crap. So who cares? Like I said, it's a driver, not a show truck. All right, I'm going to put the caps on, and then we're done. We are done this little project. Sweet. And also these bolts and caps are from my Monte Carlo as well. I didn't get any with this S10, so winner, winner. Even the threads are the same. I gave this a blast with some black paint, just so she doesn't rust. You know how welds rust faster than regular steel. All right, look at that, boys and girls. Give it a spin, crank her tight, center her up. There we go. Perfect. I want to get my impact. There she is. sure she's still good. Perfect. I'm going to spin it in a bit as soon as I get this tight. All right. There. I'll check it by hand once I put it on the ground. Make sure it's nice and tight. And there you have it. There is the drive shaft finished. And you know what? It really didn't cost me that much, just basically welding wires and welding gas. This little project. Saved myself a ton. Ooh, I think there's some play in that rear end. Maybe there's no oil in it. I should pull that cover and check. For sure, I'm going to pull that cover. But we'll see. And that's how you do it, folks. That's how you make your own drive shaft. It's a little bit red-green, but it works. It works well. I appreciate you for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace out.